Big 12 championship game. I'm so ready for this. I'm going to be there. The whole new Saturday tour is going to Dallas. It's an 11 a.m. local kick. Oh, it's Iowa State. It's Arizona State. Neither team has really breathed this air. This is pretty lofty. Iowa State hasn't been to this game. Arizona State hadn't been in any kind of conference championship game in quite a while. So there's the first factor that's unknowable, and that is big game, who makes too much of it? Who overthinks the room? Who makes uncharacteristic mistakes? There's no way to know that. There's no way to know that. One of the tendencies that players, both individually and teams collectively, have when they get in these moments is they convince themselves more is necessary than what got you there. It's so flawed. Your performance level was good enough. That's why you're in the game. You don't try and be any more a version of yourself than you've already been. That's where mistakes come into play. And that's relevant for both teams. You can see the key to this game from the space station. You don't have to know a thing about football to look and say, Cam Scatterboo, known as Cam Scatterboo by some on this staff who shall remain nameless. He looks like a stud. Yeah, he is. Ooh, Iowa State. They're what? They're 96th against the run? That's the game. You can't stop him. Everything else is fundamental. That's the game. So that part's easy. Here's the kicker. The devil is always a little bit deeper in the weeds there. It's in the details. He can run the ball phenomenally. But let's say it's the kind of game where between the 20s, Arizona State is running the ball 6.5 yards per carry, but they get down in the red zone a lot. What does Arizona State do in the red zone? Not a whole lot. They're 116th in red zone offense this year. That'll win or lose this game for them, I believe. That could be in a given game, just like a one-game scenario, that could be a 10 or 15-point swing in one game. Over the course of a season, not so much. One game, yes. Here's the good news for Iowa State. Your offensive strength is their defensive strength, or weakness, rather. Iowa State, top 40 passing attack. Not elite, but if you're looking at a strength, that's it for them. Arizona State is 69th or so pass defense. So there will be plays there to be had. You need a career game. Like you need a highlight reel game from Rocco Becht. You just need the ceiling game. Kind of like we said about Carson Beck at Georgia. That needs to be the kind of afternoon that Rocco Becht has. It's not being played in Ames, Iowa. It won't be 17 degrees at kickoff like it was the other night. Neither team really turns the ball over. Historically, like this year, they haven't. I mean, anything can happen here, but you can't count on that. And then on a related note, I just want to let you guys know, picking this game is one of the hardest things I've done. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. I haven't had a very hard life. I'm very close with both of these coaching staffs. I'm very close with both of these programs. I've never called myself a journalist on this show, if you'll notice. And that is because I absolutely have favorites. I have rooting interest. Bradley, do you have that picture? Like a case in point here. This has been me at various points this year. These two pictures were taken in totally different months of the year. But I have been photographed wearing both Iowa State and Arizona State garb at certain points this year. So I said to myself this morning, you got to be a man. You got to be professional. You got to make a pick on this game. But then as the show approached, I thought to myself, no, I don't, because I'm scared. I just want to go enjoy things. Basically, I want to have a consequence-free Saturday. So I don't want to lose. So anytime that I don't want to have personal responsibility on this show, I just let the model take the fall. So Bradley, let's take a look at what the model thinks about the game. We're just going to put a bandana on our face, and we're going to let the model decide. Well, what do you know? The model thinks the wrong team is favored. At FanDuel right now, Arizona State's favored by 2.5. The model has Iowa State winning by 2. I cannot stress enough. The model hates you, Arizona State. The model thinks you're trash and no good. This is this right here. You hear it? It exists. There is a physical model here. And if it's right, I will take full credit. However, if it's wrong, it ain't on me. Remember, I've never made a wrong pick in my life. I've either won or the model has failed me. Or kids, coaches, and officials. So kids, coaches, officials, and the model lose games. I win games. I've always thought that was a fair compromise. And for some reason, a lot of people disagree with that.